All right, welcome back. So, as you know, we finished up Eric's Cherokee a while back. We basically took all of his good components and put them into a rust-free chassis. It's worked out great. He's been really happy with it, but he's been having one consistent issue, and that's that the stock power steering system it sucks. They always kind of have sucked a little bit. They're marginal and they work. We have found them to be problematic over the years, and finding a company that offers a good remanufactured power steering pump can be difficult these days. We see a lot of the older Jeeps coming in with power steering pump failures. Being that he wants to do a lot of traveling with this, do a lot of off-roading and camping and all that kind of stuff, and he wants to take his daughter, so he wants the ultimate reliability, we decided it's time for a complete system upgrade. So today, we're going to do a PSC Cherokee install. We are not doing the Ram. With his current steering setup and with his current axle setup, there's no need for a Ram. He doesn't need the hydro assist. We just want better quality components. So we're going to put in a PSC gearbox, the PSC pump with pulley, all their hoses, the remote reservoir, like all the goodies as if you were buying the hydro assist system. But he just doesn't want the assist, and there's no need for it at this time. The beauty is the gearbox is already set up for it. So if at any point he wants to add a PSC assist cylinder, all you do is slap it on and run some hoses. Not a big deal. But for today, we're not going to bother doing this cylinder. It's just not something that he actually needs. If he does go bigger in tire, it might be a different conversation. So I'm going to show you what all we're going to do, show you how we're going to do it in a generalized kind of concept, and then we got to see how much better it drives. So let's go over what we're going to install first. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to mount this up by the brake booster. This is the fluid reservoir. This is the gearbox. Has all the PSC upgrades. It's got their back cap. It's got their top cap. It's already set up for your hydro lines if you want to add a hydro assist ram at a later date. And then we've got right there, we got that. We got all this, which is just all your fittings and crap. We got bracket, which is going to mount that, and we're probably going to have to play with that a little bit. Got all the hoses. It comes with the fluid. It does come with a mount for the cooler, but that's for a TJ. And it actually comes with a big, long, crazy-looking aluminum cooler. We're not going to bother using it because they just don't package well on the Cherokee. He's going to go get a plate fin-style cooler, and we're going to mount it down here in the grill. It also comes with this bracket right here. That's going to be where we mount our reservoir. So let's take this darn thing apart, start putting on some cool, nice, shiny stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the airbox and the fan off. That way I can get down to the top of the gearbox and all the lines easier. Then I'm going to swap out the power steering pump and the reservoir and start running some lines. So let me get a couple of these quick things out of the way real quick, and I'll be right back, show you what we're doing. All right, airbox is out, fan's out, loosen up the adjuster, took the belt off. Now we are going to gently mock this system up to make sure it's going to clear the hood. It should, in theory, but it's so huge we worry that we might run into some interference fit with the hood, because again, this kit is technically listed as a TJ assist kit, but it says it also works for a Cherokee. So we're just being a little extra cautious. So we're going to mock that real quick, and we'll see how that fits. Well, I don't know. Who knows? Eric.
Yes, sir.
Are you excited about your PSC?
Yes.
What are you expecting as far as difference, if any at all?
Hopefully it'll be on road. It'll be relatively close to the same, and maybe a little less effort put into turning the wheels. But I hope to see the biggest difference off road.
Being that you're not running an assist ram, do you think it'll actually be much difference? Maybe a smidge, but not drastic? Or what you thinking?
Actually, honestly, I don't know. Without an assist, I have no clue what to expect. I mean, it is a performance box as far as a gearbox we're putting in here.
And pump is pretty different too.
As well. Pump is increased flow and pressure. The box is considered a big bore, not quite like the JKs or the JLs, but it is still considered a big bore box. So hopefully
they run a similar size pulley, don't they?
I believe so, yeah.
Pulley's pretty similar, so should be spinning the pump harder, but the pump shouldn't need it because it's got more flow and pressure anyways.
Yeah, it's already built up from the factory. I'm hoping for close to the same. Hopefully a little improvement, but if it doesn't, I'm not too worried. Better components is what it is.
Yep, that's the big thing, reliability, right?
Yeah,
we're sick and tired of these stock crap junk pumps.
Aftermarket pumps just don't last.
There's no good remanufacturers. The OEM, if you can find an OEM stock pump in a junkyard, it's like a gold, like that's awesome. Those are so reliable, but the aftermarket pumps are just garbage.
Yeah, they just don't work out the way we want them to. And
so what he's doing now is he's trying to see if this darn thing's gonna fit. And it will. We're just gonna kind of finagle it in, and we want to get it as low profile as possible for the hood clearance. We don't like to avoid doing any clearancing on the hood if possible. So,
yeah.
Okay, so being that this is a TJ/Cherokee kit, we have learned that it's pretty much a TJ kit. To make this clear the hood, we had to drill 2 new holes and move this reservoir over as far as possible. We left a small little teeny gap. We are virtually touching the inner fender liner, and it clears with about a 1/16 of an inch. So we had to modify that. The power steering pump, I didn't bother filming it. It's just a simple 3 bolts. So you reuse 2 of the really long power steering bolts, and then down in there you use 1 short one. So again, this long bolt does not fit in there. It's not drilled all the way through. So 2 long, 1 short, mounts right up, middle pulley. So you got no more plastic pulley. Nice, good upgrade. So we finally got that fitted. We had to do some customization of that. Basically just drilling and cutting. Now we're gonna head down to that gearbox, get that swapped out so we can figure out our hoses.
One gearbox. Ow. Ouch.
Just a dab of red Loctite. Make sure you put your pivot arm exactly where it was on the other box, and make sure this box is centered before you set this all up. Did you hear that click at the end? That was the torque wrench setting. All right, just got done installing the steering shaft. He is down there hooking up the drag link. Then we're gonna come up here, we're gonna put the airbox, the fan back in so we can start running lines. So as you can see, we got our return line and our pressure line reinstalled. You use your stock pressure line. So we got that put back on. We just got just the middle part of our return line in. We're gonna come out of this. We're gonna circle back behind the radiator here. We're gonna go to our cooler, back off the cooler over to here. Yep, over here. But we gotta get our airbox back in to make sure we can route all of our lines correctly. So next, we're gonna rip this off and put a cooler in there. So we're gonna pop that grill out, we'll be right back. All right, so PSC does offer a cooler for their systems. It's like a big tube style, heat sink style cooler. Don't really like them for the Cherokee application, nor do they fit well. So we picked up a Hayden cooler. It's a plate fin style cooler. It's what I run all of our trannies, and it's also what we use for most of our power steering power steering coolers as well. It is a plate fin style, much easier to package. You can pick these up at any local parts store. You can get them in a million different sizes. So measure for your application. Make sure you get one that's going to fit where you want to mount it. We're mounting ours right in front of the or behind the grill, in between basically like the grill and the AC condenser. Comes with some mounting components. And so this is what we're gonna install. We're gonna pop the grill out real quick, get this fitted, and go from there. There's nothing wrong with the PSC coolers. They're just like a long aluminum tube. They're just really hard to package on a vehicle of this nature, and there's just really nowhere good to put it. I'm not saying there isn't places we could, but nowhere we want to. So for our other applications, those coolers work amazing, just not for this one. So here we got Eric putting the airbox back in so we can make sure we can get all of our hoses routed correctly. You can see he's getting some fittings started and stuff. So we can figure out where we're running stuff. And then we're gonna have to weasel this in here, but that's where we're gonna be putting our cooler. You can see he's already got one in there for his transmission. So we're gonna get everything all loose and slide this in there, and we'll have one for tranny, one for power steering. The fittings are all lining up well. We got our return line, or our big feed line over here. We got our return line coming off the cooler, routed over. Do yourself a favor, these are nice aluminum fittings. Leave your steel wrenches in your toolbox. Purchase yourself an aluminum crescent wrench, and they also make aluminum wrenches specifically made for AN style fittings. If you have the really fancy blue fittings and black fittings and stuff, it stops you from marring them up badly. I'm a sucker for the right tool for the job. So there we go. Aluminum crescent wrench. I have several different sizes, plus the actual aluminum wrenches as well, but I'm usually too lazy to find the aluminum wrench. He is putting all of his cooler lines in first. We actually figured that you can actually snake this up in there, and then we'll tie it down to the radiator when we're done. Airbox is in. Everything is completely done and routed. There is a couple things left. We have to mount the cooler. We have to put the grill and the headlight cover back in, and we have to put the fan back in. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna start this thing up. We already bled the living crap out of this thing before we even started it. So we're gonna start it, we're gonna make sure there's no leaks. Once we make sure there's no leaks, we'll put the last couple things on. Are you excited, Eric?
Oh yeah.
Let's see. All right, we're gonna look for leaks while he plays with it. All right, so what's your initial thoughts here?
I can already tell the difference from sitting still.
Like what? What's your differences?
It's way easier.
What do you mean by way easier?
Like I can use my one finger instead of my whole hand.
So even though it's not an assist cylinder, it's way better than stock.
Yeah, it's better than stock for sure.
It'll be fun to try in the rocks.
Yeah.
All right, while you spin it, what I'm gonna do is I'm looking for leaks under any of these hoses, any of these fittings. Be careful putting your hand in the engine bay. I'm looking for leaks. Any leaks. Don't forget the ones down there. I got no leaks anywhere. So all we have left is we need to put the fan in it and the grill and all that crap, tie everything all up, a couple zip ties, make sure everything's good. We're gonna go for a quick drive, and then we'll see what he really thinks about it, how it performs on the street. So stay tuned, let's go for a drive. Good morning, everybody. Got kind of late last night, so we called it a night. The Jeep was done, but we had to just drive it. So here we are driving the Jeep. Initial thoughts?
Actually it feels about the same, maybe a little less effort. It's actually got a way better feel for the road. I can feel the road better.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense to everybody. I don't know.
But steering feels about the same, maybe just a smidge. I know when you're just sitting parked, you commented that it steered way easier.
Yeah, it was sitting parked. It was a lot different, which is good in my opinion.
Right.
I was hoping for not a whole lot of change on the road.
Right. You don't want it twitchy and too sensitive because it would drive like crap then.
Yeah. It feels tighter as well. My other box, I don't know if it was just because of the 245,000 miles I had on it.
I mean, that could have a lot to do with your worn out gearbox.
Yeah.
And this one was super nice and tight.
Yeah.
The backlash is way less inside that gear set inside the gearbox.
Yeah, this feels amazing actually. It feels wonderful. I like it. I like the way it responds. It's
what I like is I like that it drives about the same on the road. Because again, if it was too twitchy on the road, it would suck to drive. But I like the fact that when you're just sitting at a stop, it actually turns with so much less effort. Yeah. So like when you're doing rock crawling and stuff, it should help tremendously. I mean, it's definitely not assist by any means, but you're also running 33s. I just think we just talked about it again. That's just overkill. You don't need that.
No, I don't need that. I just like proof's in the pudding. Just sitting there, it felt way easier. I think that's going to make a huge difference off road as well, because you're not moving fast by any means.
Yep. Now you got all high quality PSC components and everything's all nice and brand new.
And yeah, it's actually a pretty simple install as long as you have a little bit of ingenuity in you. It's nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a beginner level install, but for somebody like us, it wasn't too bad.
No.
So if you guys get sick and tired of your garbage stocks hydraulic system, mostly it's just the pumps we have a lot of problems with. This is actually an expensive upgrade. It's less than a couple grand, but it is definitely an expensive upgrade for sure. But it's an upgrade. So I mean, all upgrades cost money. That's for darn sure, and it costs money to go out and to play. We go out, we tear stuff up, we fix stuff. It's just kind of what we do. So if you're looking for a good upgrade, PSC is probably one of the better options. We've been using PSC for years. Absolutely, we're just fanatics for their products. We love their stuff. So if you need any good upgrades for that, for your Cherokee, your TJ, this kit's something you probably should take into consideration and look at. So appreciate you guys hanging out. See you guys next Wednesday.
See you guys.